right now, well, most of my life I haven't met an alcohol I don't like yet. I keep looking, but I haven't found one yet.
Amazing. Okay, guys. We've been chatting about this on the show for ages, but in the unlikely event you don't know, this week's guest is Kevin Eastman, who is a comic book artist and a writer best known for being one of the co-creators on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Peter Laird. So I'm just absolutely like gobsmacked that you're here. How are you?
Thank you. No, honestly, it's super awesome to be here, and it's like it's funny that I look at a young person like yourself, and I feel like so I'm 60, and I've been doing Turtles for like almost 40 years, and so I appreciate that people still want to talk to me because I've had such a dream and such an awesome life of drawing and all that, comics and stuff. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, totally. I think particularly like as a comic creator myself, and a lot of the guys that take part in our show or watch are independent comic creators. So you're a big hero to loads of us. Can I ask what you're working on just now? Like what?
Absolutely, and I just want to make sure I tip my hat to some of my favorite all-time comics in the world, whether it be what John Wagner's done, or Jamie Hewlett, or Alan Moore, or Simon Bisley, or Alan Grant, Grant Morrison. Man, I've just been a huge fan of, I think, all comics. I like everything from manga to a lot of the French and European comics to certainly a lot of the originality and cleverness and detail and the meat and potatoes that a lot of the writers from Europe, especially the UK in general, put together. Right now I'm working on a series called The Last Ronin. The Last Ronin is based on a story that Peter and I wrote back in 1987 and never got to finish. We wrote the story set 30 years in the future, which is funny because it would have been set in 2017.
The far future.
Yeah, so isn't it crazy? So by the time then many things transpired, and I had spent the last probably 12 years working on an IDW comic series, a turtle comic series, and my friend Tom Waltz and I we produced basically with IDW 100 issues of the Turtles, and we were sort of looking like, what do we go from here? Where do we go from here as a story? And I said, well, I have this idea from 1987. I'd like to dust it off, rewrite it, and then take it into something we can bring to life. And so we've done. We're finishing up 4 issues, but there's a 5th one that'll wrap it up. But that's been all consuming for about the last 2 years. So it's been fantastic.
That's exciting stuff. It's certainly in preparation. I was trying to get a couple of copies and it's so hard to get over here. It is. To quote my local comic book shop, the Little Shop of Heroes, it is the comic at the moment. So, just couldn't get a hold of it.
No, that's and that's such a huge compliment, because it's one of those things that when we it was an original idea that we had back in the day, and we sort of revamped it and brought it. And you never know how it's going to land. It's either going to be, because the best part of my job is I've been supported by fans like yourself and fans all over the world, which allow me to live this childhood dream of writing and drawing comics. And so we design a story that we like, and then we hope you like it, or the fans like it. And this was one that right out of the box we were like, well, if it sells okay, then we win. But it was really mind blowing that it's been received as well as it has been received, and we're quite quite humbled, to be honest. It's been such a fantastic, after all these years, it's still doing something that's original and that the fans are supporting is quite special.
Well, like you said, 40 years, almost 40 years. Like you've made a big dent and a big impact in the lives of so many comic readers and writers and creators. What when you look back at your career, is there any particular bits that you do nod and smile at and think, that's one of my prouding achievements?
One of the most fantastic and most special moments. And I guess specifically the Turtles, as all Turtles history goes, would be the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, when we had the incredible Steve Barron as a director of the series, and of course Jim Henson, the legendary Jim Henson, making the costumes and bringing it to life. And it was made they produced everything in the Creature Shop in London. If I had to point out to one moment that besides the fact that Peter and I created a comic and we get to draw our comic, and that was our childhood dream, being huge fans of Jack Kirby, so we get to spend our life drawing comic books. But that being the number one highlight, sort of things like the first Turtle movie were one of those things that was just the perfect storm of awesomeness. So
is there, if I flip that question over a wee bit, is there anything that you look back and you go, oh, like why did we say yes to that one?
Well, it's funny because it would be like some of the some stuff that we liked a little bit less than some of the other stuff. Some stuff we liked a little bit more, but it's sort of it goes back to the way I grew up reading comic books. It was things like whether it be Batman or Daredevil or the Avengers or X-Men, there was always different creative people coming in and out and doing their version of those characters. Some you liked a bit more, some you liked a bit less. And so with the Turtles, there were moments that I think it was perfect. It was a perfect storm, like the first Turtle movie, and some of the other things, and some that was just sort of like, kind of missed that one on that one. But luckily we have fairly forgiving fans, and they with high levels of tolerance, I guess. So
that's amazing. I know time's short, and thanks for coming on. I was going to ask, so our podcast is all about comics and beer.
Yep.
So we just like to get in a circle and chat what we've been reading and what we're drinking. I know that you've done a bit of time in breweries in the past and things like that. What's your go-to beer, if you have one?
Well, it's like there's so many, and I joke that there's rarely an alcohol that I've met that I've not liked. I'm quite enamored by it, and have a family history of enjoying the drink. From being a kid and drinking the cheaper stuff and trying not to throw up, to getting all a little more refined. But some of my favorite memories, I'd say point 1, 2 is my good friend Simon Bisley, who lives in Carterton, and when I would go to London for work, he would come down for a visit, and we'd go, I'd always stay sort of kind of Covent Garden kind of area. Yeah. We'd sort of go up into the middle of the theater district and eat dinner, then we'd hit a pub. We couldn't pass a pub with going in and having a drink, and then we'd see if we could actually make it back to the hotel. A few times we came close to not making it. But no, I'm a big fan of, I like, not like IPAs, I think have a really interesting taste. A lot of, I actually like a lot of English beer, and certainly Guinness is one of my favorites. Courtney and I get to go to the Guinness factory and have a proper Guinness up at the top of the place. And that was fantastic. Black and tan lagers. It's I'm not very picky, but there's but I like the quality stuff, and I like the things with a bit more body and a bit heaviness to it, that you sip and you can sort of hang out and drink it before it gets too warm, because you have to finish it before it gets too warm, so that you get another one.
Amazing.
But other than beer, I think my favorite is I rekindled my love affair with all things whiskey, especially Tullamore Dew. The last time we went to Dublin and up into Northern Ireland, man, that's one of my Writer's Tears, Tullamore Dew. That's it makes me want to have a drink right now.
Oh, sorry. I think it's about dinner time at yours, isn't it? You can Yeah, is that on the cards?
Yeah, no, it's like, it's funny is that, so we're heading towards dinner time, so it's like, so usually we'll, my wife and I will cook together a lot of times, and then we'll have a glass of wine with dinner. Then I always like a nice whiskey or something later on. But as a regular, if you're drinking in the afternoons, I like beer. I like heavy beers.
Incredible. All right, so I think. I don't know. I could talk to you for like as long as you can give me, but I know time is short. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely, no, and I know it's like, when we schedule some of the press junket stuff, it's always fun. I like to talk to a lot of different people, because it really is like, especially in the year or two that it's been, we've not been able to go out to shows and meet people in person, which is something we always liked so very, very much. So I like doing these so we can still talk to fans. But I'd be the same. My wife usually will, at some point, she'll start banging on the door and goes, "You're talking too much." Because I do.
No such thing, right? You're fine.
So
have you got any shows coming up? Have you got anything that you can?
We actually just started booking shows for 2022, and because it's even here in the States, there's still, with the Delta variant, there's still questionable things that we worry about. We've been vaccinated, us and our son and stuff, but just to be safe, but we don't want to be in a situation where we might infect somebody else. You know what I mean? Like carry it on to. So, but we'll have a proper schedule for next year soon, and it'll be up. If you go to KevinEastmanStudios.com, it's our main website, our fan site, and you can sort of see where we're going and what we're doing there. So.
Excellent, man. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I hope to speak to you again.
Thank you. Pleasure talking to you. So let's talk again. We'll have a beer next time.
Absolutely.
We'll actually have a beer, and we can.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That would be incredible. Cool. Speak to you soon.
Nice talking with you.